I could definitely say that plays a factor. While I could look at things on this campus, but primarily I'm looking at the students. I'm looking at in terms of what can be available for the students here on this campus, and not only put themselves in a position of leadership, but also to develop them in a position of leadership outside of the school. Because what we often see is that it's almost an inclusive process with ASO, and I want to get away from well, excuse me, not inclusive, but more so exclusive process. So we need to make much more of this a much more well-rounded discussion to have everybody engage, instead of just saying, okay, this is only for you and only you, and that's it. We are the ASO, but at the same time with us being the ASO, we are the student body. Students first.
All right. Thank you, Quincy, and we will take this opportunity to introduce Deanna here. She's also a presidential candidate for next year, and Michael Mendiaz, he's a vice president candidate for next year.
So Michael, you're also going for vice president. So I want to ask you, what is your vision? What do you bring into the table for vice president if you're elected? What do you feel that you're bringing to the table that other previous vice presidents or even your competition, what do you feel that you're bringing to the table that no one else is?
Well, I feel what I'm bringing to the table is, compared to my competition, is better communication skills with the clubs and with the student body, to where I just get out there and I let the people know who I am. Other than that, that's my answer.
Now, Sebastian, I'm going to ask you the same question. What do you feel that you're going to bring to the table? Now, we heard earlier, why do you want to be vice president? Now, what do you feel that you bring to the table versus your competitor and the previous vice presidents?
Well, first of all, I have experience. I've been with ASO for over a year now. I was the former senator of recruitment. We had an issue last year to, we needed a way to recruit more students. And I brought over to the table the idea for the ASO preferred parking, and that helped us increase our student population for over 1,000 students. So now we have a lot more students that are ASO members. And in addition, I also want to, get the people that I know. I've been a tutor for a while now. I've been involved in campus on different programs, and I feel like a lot of people know about me, and I want to ask them to help me spread the word about the ASO. I feel like not a lot of people know who we are, and we need to get ourselves out there and be there for the students, so they have a place where to go, like I mentioned earlier.
Alrighty, this is a question addressed to Deanna. I actually asked this to Quincy earlier. What are some of the deficiencies you have seen on campus that you plan to address in your potential candidacy?
Hello, West Los Angeles College. Thank you guys all for being here today. So there are definitely some deficiencies in the ASO here on campus as of now, from what I can see. Been in ASO a while, and from what I have gathered, there is a lack of participation from the students as a whole. There's some issues with recruitment. There's also some issues with accountability and organization in the ASO in general. We've got to be more efficient. We've got to be able to get things done, and we've got to reach out to more students. If we can get more student voices involved in this, and if we can get more students involved in this campus in general, we can have a more unified West LA College. And what that means is that we can unify our student power, and we can actually get things done. What we've got to do is organize our thoughts and our ideas and find a way to create proposals, get those to administration, and get things done around here. We've got to be able to be the change that we want in West LA College, and we can do that through the ASO, through Associated Student Government Organization. And I encourage all of our students to get involved with that, and a great way to do that is through better recruitment processes, more fun and interactive meetings, more events like this, more support to our clubs, and generally just being more organized and being more efficient.
Thank you, Deanna, for that. Larry?
Quincy, we just heard from your competition. What do you feel are the current strengths and weaknesses of the ASO And what do you plan to do to improve participation?
Thank you. Specifically, I can say offhand, communication. The lack of communication that ties in with us as an organization that represents the students at large plays a major factor in terms of what we get done and what we don't get done. Not only that, I honestly view that amongst the ASO, while yes, we were elected to our positions, the whole idea of us being a collective unit kind of diminished after a while. While that idea or the concept diminished, we had to keep in mind that if we're not a solid unit, how can we expect anybody on this campus to have the unified state of mind? And that's been an ongoing thing. You know, like I could always say, even from my standpoint as an ASO representative, outside of an ASO representative, I'm also a part of Project Learn on this campus. So I'm seeing things not only from the student standpoint, I'm also seeing things from a faculty standpoint. So if you're seeing all of these things take place in terms of unification, how can we do anything for the students at large in progressive fashion that could be beneficial, not only for here, but for the students in the future? Now, if we don't take that approach as the ASO to understand of what we need in terms of solidarity, in terms of communication, in terms of being active, but not only being active, but having an inclusive process. Because one of the things that I want to do, especially in my term, is to have students to come to our meetings. They need to come to our ASO meetings. And not only that too, you also have to keep in mind, I'm going to use a brief example, Santa Monica College. Santa Monica College's, their ASO meetings is open to the public. So with it being open to the public, you're going to have a lot of people who are going to come into the meetings to see what you do and how you conduct yourselves. Now, we don't have that process here at West Los Angeles College. What are we really saying? Are we really putting ourselves in a position to be exposed to the students? Are we having a very transparent process? Or is it really it's a really isolated organization without any kind of input from anybody else? That's why I think in terms of while people are paying or students are paying their ASO membership, put it in the mindset, we're like a union. And while we're here at this school, we have to have our members involved. If we don't have our members involved, we die out. So that's why having everybody involved, whether it be in this candidate form or whether it be going to your ASO meetings or even your club meetings or the ICC meetings, all of these things are important to the function of ASO and also within West Los Angeles College. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Quincy. Now I will address a question to the vice presidential candidates. Among many student concerns, one that ranks on top of the list is long lines in student services building for financial aid and admissions when it's in the beginning of the semester, and also it takes a long time to get a counseling appointment. So it's very difficult to see a counselor in a timely fashion. Sometimes students find themselves waiting even a month or over even sometimes. What are some things you will do as potential vice presidents to address these student concerns?
Well, I feel like the system itself needs to be revised and looked at to where we could really identify the issues and the cracks that really are affecting the lack of transparency and the long waits that we have with our counselors and with the appointments to do the assessment test. It needs to be more straightforward. You got to go through online, set an appointment, then finally go there, and then they'll give you the runaround to come back for another day. And yeah, we need some more like, okay, it's gonna be on this day. You could go there, set it yourself, or maybe with your phone, have a phone app as well. With my experience here for a whole year as a multicultural senator and assistant news editor, I've really found myself in those same issues and those same predicaments. So I could really help with experience myself. But thank you, and that's my answer.
Thank you for that, Michael. And now we'll give Sebastian to address the question.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I've been on this campus for a while now. What many students don't know is that there's different programs that offer counseling, such as EOPS. I'm a tutor right there right now, and I feel like we need to bring awareness to the students who don't know about those programs so they can enroll and they can get the benefits from those programs, one of them being counseling and tutoring. Another way, I feel like it could be setting up a system that allows counseling on the weekends. because like right now they're doing it, but once a month maybe for the to set up their SCPs. And I think if we do it more constantly, more students are going to be able to go see the counselors. And to address the question about the long waits in admissions, I feel like a way to solve that issue could be bringing awareness to students that, you know, they don't only have to go to admissions or business office at the beginning of the semester. They're open in the summer and winter, so students can go there. And if we let the students know that, you know, the office hours or the times are open, they can go there on the summer or winter before the semester starts. So they don't have to be waiting in long lines at the beginning of the semester or at the end of the semester. So overall, just bringing in awareness to the students about those programs and other alternatives besides waiting at the beginning of the semester. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Sebastian. And now Larry will address a question.
Deanna, you and Quincy spoke earlier about working as a cohesive unit in the ASO on behalf of the students so that we can serve the students better. So my question to you is, what are you willing to sacrifice in order to see the bigger picture of the ASO and the students? What are you willing to give up? How far are you willing to go for that bigger picture for the benefit of the students?
Thank you so much, Larry. Okay, that's a very good question. What am I willing to sacrifice to make sure that our goals as a unit are realized? How can we basically become a united group? And what will I sacrifice to make sure that happens? Well, one thing that I'm willing to sacrifice are my own strong beliefs, because I feel it's very important to have multiple perspectives in any unit, and everybody's voice should be heard, even if I don't agree with it. And I am willing to compromise what I believe in for what the majority of our students desire or what they believe in, because I strongly feel that, like I said, everyone's voice should be heard, and the only way to do that is to be open-minded and accepting and approachable for students to be able to come to our meetings, to get involved, and not be afraid to share their ideas because they might get shut down by the majority that already is in place in the ASO. So I think that it's important that we all, in general, open our minds to the new students that will be coming in this semester and their new ideas and their new concepts, and be willing to work with them and to apply those to what we already have available to students in the ASO. That way, by compromising some of my strong beliefs, we can incorporate some new ideas into the ASO.
Okay, Quincy, same question. How far are you willing to go? What are you willing to sacrifice on behalf of the students of West LA College?
Well, you know, Chief Justice, I'm actually in that mode right now in terms of sacrificing. So I can definitely say right now my experience alone within the ASO speaks for itself regarding that level of sacrifice. So specifically, in terms of what I've sacrificed thus far, what I continue to sacrifice for the students of West Los Angeles College is my time. Not only the time, but also the time and opportunity for that student to grow. What happens quite often is that when you don't invest into that or invest into the needs of the student, they'll eventually go off to look into other resources on other campuses, and we lose that campus life. So when we lose that campus life, we lose the students along with that. So I could definitely say from my position right now, in terms of the sacrifices that I'm already doing, there will be a continuing process. Along with that, and I could actually agree in terms of what Deanna, what she says in terms of having your strong beliefs. While you can have your strong beliefs, it's your belief. If it's your belief, that means it's not everybody else's belief. So if you don't have a collective unit that can actually be able to speak to you and actually give ideas that can help this student campus grow, then what are you really doing? Why are you in that position? Because one of the things that people have to remember is that while yes, you are running for these particular positions, that's well enough and that's true. You're running for these positions, but you have to also keep in mind is that you don't necessarily need a title to be the leader. So if you don't need that title to be a leader, you have to take initiation regardless of whether or not you're elected. You have to take initiation to the needs of the students if you have those resources, and make sure to let them know that we are a cohesive unit. Now, another thing that I would also put into mind in terms of that is that while I could sacrifice time I want to sacrifice time so we can all be a community. What I often see around West Los Angeles College is cliques. We don't have to have cliques. Having cliques diminishes the whole idea of unity. So when you bring everybody together under the mindset of wanting to be a community, that's how you can make your campus stronger. Not only your campus, but also your ASO. But if that's not put out there as an idea or a concept, we diminish. That's not my approach. If anything, I'd rather continue to have the mindset of at least establishing leaders to let them know that you're gonna have to sacrifice the time. You may have to sacrifice some opportunities. You may have to even sacrifice the amount of social life that you actually have, whether it be on the internet or whether it be with your friends, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever the case may be, in order to do what you need to do for the students at large because you were elected in that position. So I could definitely say, from my standpoint, those sacrifices are currently being made as we speak. But this is where I stand as a man right now for the vice presidency that I have right here. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Quincy. And now I'll take this opportunity to address a question to the vice presidential candidates first, and then the presidential candidates will get a chance to speak on the same issue. This is a question or the issue that needs addressing. We often get students that come to the ASO office and tell us that our memberships are not enough, that we are not, offering enough benefits to our students to, make that $7 fee every semester, more worth it. And even though, this year we started offering ASO preferred parking, which actually gives you preferential parking with an ASO membership, even with that, what do you plan to change that would bring more student involvement into ASO and increase our membership base to get more campus life and get more students involved in student government, and other issues like office, budgeting for office, having enough money for Scantrons, our supplies, just even down to specific issues like that. What do you plan to change and improve when you're in your term as the positions you are going for? Michael.
Well, here in West Los Angeles College, we have a lot of low-income individuals, and to even ask for the $7 is a lot of sacrifice. I know where they're coming from. They feel like they're not getting their share back, their buck's worth. One thing I would like to do if I do become vice president is I want to offer food to the students, simple food for finals, for the beginning of the semester, for mid-semester. I want to have these events, these days where at least twice a month I come and I feed everybody pizza, sandwiches, something that helps, and so they know they're getting their buck worth. They're getting their money's worth, and it attacks that scenario too. Low-income individuals, a lot of people can't buy food, a lot of people can't purchase necessities, and ASO right now is offering Scantrons, free Scantrons. So anybody who needs Scantrons before a test, they could go to ASO and get one. I plan on trying to offer more. Maybe throw in some folders, some journals, definitely some paper, so the basics, just to get people through. So the low-income individuals could have a chance to also succeed as the well-off students do as well. And for the other question, what was it again? There's another one. An improvement I plan on making to ASO and ASO Life and to the students and as a whole would be to have more students say more, student suggestions. Have students say, hey, dude, we need to fix this, and we need to have everybody focus on this now. So I guess maybe a suggestion box, right there in ASO, so everybody can put a little suggestion in there, and we'll read it next meeting on the agenda. So that would be my answer. Yep.
Thank you for that, Michael. And now, Sebastian, you'll get a chance to address the same issue.
Thank you. First, I'd like to address the issue of the ASO's budget. The students want us to, provide more for the students, but we don't have enough students paying their ASO membership for us to be able to provide more things for them. So as I mentioned earlier, one thing we did in the ASO last year was bring the ASO preferred parking to increase our revenues. I'm looking forward to meeting with the administration and increase our ASO preferred parking. So right now we have 300 spots, and we get 1,000 spots, and in that way we can increase our revenue. And with more money, it means that we can bring more benefits to the students. I'm looking forward to have an agreement with the bookstore that would benefit the students overall. And if that's not possible, set up kind of Amazon, a Westlake Amazon, where students get to exchange books online or sell books online. In addition, I have in mind a stress-free zone so we can set up for our students. So when finals or midterms come around, we can have the students just go in there, play Xbox or play pool, something that they can get their heads off of school. And you know, ASO already does provide food for students on certain events. So I think, you know, we can do better than that. And what I presented for you right now is a way, you know, to improve it. And to improve the student life on campus, I'm planning on having monthly events. The same fall, you know, we have Halloween. Last year, the an art club, they did a maze, and I'm looking forward to bring something like that so that the students can be involved and they can see that the ASO is an active group and it's there for them. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Sebastian.
All right, Deanna. This question is a little bit different. Now, we know that Westlake College has roughly around 12,000 students, roughly. There's a percentage of that student population that are military veterans. There are also a population that are DSPS students. Each one of those categories have their own challenges. Each one of those categories have certain things going on right now on campus that is making it difficult for them to navigate this college. What do you plan on doing to fix those issues?
There are a few different groups on campus that have been having their own troubles. Everybody's got their trials and tribulations, and I think a good way to help everybody on a universal perspective is to provide a more organized ASO, so that if there are student grievances, we can have an improved grievance structure to where those can be addressed and taken care of in a timely and efficient manner, and students can actually see that the ASO is active and doing things for them on campus. In particular, on a case-to-case basis with DSPS and with the veterans on campus, those are two special groups. There are also several other special groups like the low-income groups and others. I think on a case-to-case basis, they should have more support, not only in their own organization, but they should be able to have support from others in the college community. If we all were to lean on one another and departments were to be more communicative between departments and people were able to talk to each other more, there could be more action happening. For example, if there's an issue in the DSPS office, as there was this semester, we had a student come and let us know in ASO and told us that the printer's not working, we're having issues with this and that, and this is preventing us from excelling and succeeding. Things like that can be taken care of through those grievance processes, but also that DSPS student came and leaned on ASO to help out, not just DSPS. So in general, we can all lean on each other. Clubs can be more connected through the ICC. Organizations can be more connected through student events and networking opportunities. And we can all help each other out, help each other point one another in the right direction, find the resources we need to get the goals that we have met.
Quincy, same question.
Yes, to answer your question directly, regarding the veterans on this campus, is that, you know, I know a number of them haven't had the amount of resources that they actually need as far as with being able to go to school and being able to stay in school. I could definitely say that's been an ongoing issue, and I think that's pretty sad to actually have that for our veterans here at West Los Angeles College. Because if you served our country, not only we should give the service back to you, but also you should be able to feel as if you have these resources here available on this campus for you. But specifically to tie in with the veterans, that I've actually been speaking with the Veterans Club here on this campus about establishing a Veterans Center directly for the veterans here. Another thing with that as well is that, and also to double back on the previous question that you asked to our vice president candidates, is that what I would love to have available for the school is more employment opportunities. Because what we often see around this school is that you have a lot of students here who haven't had that opportunity to be employed either by this school itself or by any other resources. So we have to maximize our connections. So along with maximizing our connections, we have to be able to reach out to companies that may be able to do job fairs here. We have to be able to reach out to other companies that may be able to provide some level of resources for our veterans here, or for any other needs that ties into anything, regardless of whether or not you're a veteran, whether or not you're a part of any organization. You have to be able to be a part of this process in order for your life to improve. So those basic resources tie into your progression. That's why with you being here as a student of West Los Angeles College, as a veteran, and you're addressing these issues, and it's been an ongoing issue, it's pretty sad that we're in 2015 still talking about what resources that we're going to have available for the veterans. Because at this point, we should have those issues resolved. So I definitely can say on my part, I'm definitely working with the Veterans Club and as far as establishing a Veterans Center. Then not only that, we also have to make the process as far as with the student athletes here a much more inclusive process, because we kind of put that on the back burner, unfortunately. So since we put that on the back burner and they're paying their ASO fees up front, I don't know if anybody knows that, but they usually pay their fees automatically once they're a student athlete here. So to have more resources even available for them would be a much more necessity, because that ties into the campus life here on this campus. So I can definitely say it's an ongoing process, but we have to make much more substantial improvements.
Thank you for that, Quincy, as well. What do you plan to do to improve student life and increase our membership in ASO, and what other memberships do you plan to offer that would make our $7 ASO membership fee more appealable to students and increase our base, other than what's already been done this year with our ASO preferred parking?
Well, in order to increase the value of our ASO membership fee that students pay, especially athletes as well as all other ASO members, is to provide a more interactive environment. Firstly, this is school, it's supposed to be fun, we're students. Our meetings should be more interactive and they should be more efficient, firstly, and they should also offer food and things like that and refreshments so that we can get students to the meetings. Now, getting students involved in ASO, that's about going out and actually promoting. What we need are to find the right kind of students for our organization. Go out and look for those students in your classes that are raising their hands a lot, that are very involved, and seek them out. Tell them, hey, I see something in you, I see these strengths in you, and you could realize your potential through the ASO. So firstly, finding students that are right for ASO and encouraging their strengths and encouraging them to get involved. Once we have students that are involved, that have the energy and the power and the drive to actually make events and things like that happen on campus, then we can start drawing in more students through events and things like that to maximize what students are getting out of their ASO fees. We can make sure that we're providing those Scantrons, as we already do, pencils, papers, things like that. We could also offer more resources, like the student lounge, for example. We do have a student lounge on campus where students can relax and unwind after a long day of school or sit in there and study, but as of now, it's just not looking too good. But we do have a group of students that are working on reforming the student lounge, that are planning to basically renovate it, make it more welcoming, add a pool table and things like that. So in conclusion, to maximize the potential of paying the ASO fee, we could improve the facilities that we already have. We can add more events and things like that throughout the semester that students can go to for free if they're ASO members. We can continue to promote the things that we already offer, like Scantrons and potential to go on trips and things like that. Since our conferences are open to all students to apply, that gives students of any ASO member a chance to go and improve their leadership skills and things like that. So it's important to promote what we have and make sure we find students that are willing to, at the beginning of semester, at the beginning of the semester and throughout the semester, go out and actually talk in their classes, speak to students, hand out flyers, and actually word of mouth get more students involved with the ASO. I've talked to a lot of first-year students and a lot of students that have been here a while, and they don't even know where the ASO building is or what ASO is or does. So it's important to get the word out through, not only through word of mouth, but through flyers and through talking in our classes to other students and providing more for what they're paying by improving the facilities we have. Thank you guys.
Thank you for that, Deanna. And now Larry has a question for Michael.
All right, Michael. So same question as Deanna's.
One way I feel that the ASO's budget can increase is if somehow while everybody gets their financial aid, we somehow get ASO extracted right from that automatically, where it ain't up to choice, where everybody just gets the $7 in, and our budget will get bigger, our advertisement will get bigger, because once we see it, this is a community, this is West Los Angeles College, and we all need to chip in. We all need to be aware, and I know if we see it and we see the events, that bring in food and bring in supplies, and we get more, recognition as students from the ASO. That I'm seeing an ASO from a student basis right now, and I'm saying we need to get some recognition. We need to get some attention, and we need to get some issues handled now. So that's what we gotta tackle. Yep.
Thank you for that, Michael. And now we would like to ask the public or any students that have any questions to ask any of our candidates to take this opportunity to come forth, take the mic, and ask any questions that you have for any of the candidates up here today.
Ronnie.
So I am one of the students who didn't know much about ASO when I first got to the campus, and I've heard from all of you, and it sounds like that's an issue that we're having with getting exposure. How do you plan to do that? What form of advertisement will you use? How will you get students, more involved so that they know that the ASO is available to them and that we have resources available to them? Because if you don't know, then you're not going to use them.
Okay, thank you very much for that question, Ronnie. Well, specifically, I know I can take much more of a hands-on approach. My past experience as a union organizer with SEIU taught me that. I could definitely say with what we're doing right now, whether digitally speaking, while yes, we could post information on the websites or post any information around the school, or we could actually have information posted within the ASO. But that defeats the purpose, and I'll tell you how that defeats the purpose. You have to have an interaction directly with the students here on this campus. They're not going to know you. You have a lot of people who didn't know, and unfortunately, who didn't know the president this year. So if they didn't know him, what happens to us on our end? That's what we have to be able to be much more interactive. I could definitely say with my approach with my campaign personally, I remember when my parents used to talk about Tom Bradley when he used to be the mayor of Los Angeles. But when he was the mayor of Los Angeles, what he would do is that he would go directly within the communities and engage with his voters to speak with them about the communities to speak with them about the issues that directly affected their communities. But upon that, he would also touch bases into the issues that weren't resolved that he also talked about as well. Because I can honestly say this, if he was mayor for XYZ amount of years for that length of time, obviously there's a great level of success that he's had. But outside of that, the ASO needs to model themselves after that same approach. While yes, you could get on the websites, you could post things on Twitter, Facebook, whatever the case may be, or even put out mass emails or mass texts, you have to be much more hands-on with the students here at this school. Because if they're not engaging to what you're putting out there on the walls, or what you're putting out there in the ASO, what you're putting out there via email, then you have to be directly interactive. That's my approach.
And thank you for that, Quincy. And now we will give our other presidential candidate a chance to address the same question.
So the question is, how can we get students to know what ASO is? And how can we get more students to understand what resources are available through ASO? And I totally agree with Quincy on this one. It has got to be a hands-on approach. We can post information like he said, we can get on the internet, we can have, you know, the Instagram, the Facebook, the flyers, but honestly it comes down to word of mouth. We've got to encourage our senators and the students that we already have affiliated to go out and to talk to other students and to spread the word and to get the word about ASO out. It's also important to talk to instructors as well. That's one thing that I would really like to do this coming semester, is bridge the gap between teachers and students, because we've got to have respect for each other, and we work together, and we've got to be able to work together and communicate with each other in order to advance as a whole, because being unified doesn't just mean students being unified. It means students, instructors, and administration being unified to make West the best. And in order to do that, we've got to be able to talk to our instructors, and in order to get the word about ASO out, we've got to be able to reach out to instructors to do that as well. It's not hard to put a flyer in every instructor's box and ask them at the beginning of the semester to announce really quickly what ASO is to students, just to introduce it to them, because they see all of our students. And just to ask our senators to speak in their classes and to speak to their friends and the community here at West, to spread the word about ASO and to help students understand how it's beneficial to them and how it can help them advance by giving them a place to network with their peers, by giving them an opportunity to gain hands-on experience in several ways, by taking on a position as an officer or leading a committee, and also just the general perks, having a student lounge, being able to get those Scantrons, being able to go to games and events here on campus for free. That's all very important to spread the word. And also getting our athletes involved. Those are ASO members, and it's a large base of ASO members, and there's been a disconnect between athletics and ASO for far too long, and we've got to bridge that gap. We should have our clubs out there at those track meets, at those games, basically fundraising and getting the word out about their clubs and creating this tight-knit community here at West LA College, because we were lucky enough to have a college that feels like a private school at a public school price. And together, we, the students, can really have fun here on campus and get the most out of our experience. It doesn't have to be boring, it doesn't have to be too official, but it does need to be organized, and it does need to be an opportunity for people to be themselves and to express themselves. So in order to basically answer your question, we've got to get people more involved, we've got to get people more connected, and together we can make West the best.
Sebastian, same question, your thoughts?
Thank you. I feel like not only some students are not aware of the ASO, but as Deanna mentioned, some staff and faculty are not aware of what we do and who we are. I think a way we could solve that issue would be having the staff and faculty go to the ASO, or we go to them and teach them about what we do and who we are. A way we could do this is setting up workshops for faculty and staff to get aware of what we do, and like Deanna mentioned, have them or a senator speak in their class to bring awareness. I know ASO does this every year during fall and in Welcome Week. We have set up booths to help students that are lost and they don't know how to get to buildings. And I feel like if we can tell them where to go, we can also tell them what we do and who we are. We don't only have to tell them, yeah, okay, MSA is this way. We can also tell them, oh, we're ASO, this is what we do, this is who we are, this is what we can do for you. And by the way, MSA is this way. And a way we can do this is, training our senators, our board, to not only, help the students with guidance, but also, make sure that everybody in the board knows who we are and what we do and the benefits that we can bring to students. I've many times volunteered at those booths, and some senators they tell them, oh yeah, we're ASO, we represent you guys, but they don't really know that we are here for them to lobby, to get things done and changed in a timely manner. So I feel a way that we can get exposure would be during Welcome Week, and not only do it once a year, but do it every semester. We can do it during summer, winter, fall, spring, anytime. We don't only have to wait for fall to get here so we can get our voice out there. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Sebastian. And now we'll give Michael a chance to address the same question.
Way I could spread the name of the ASO would be to have free shirts. Give everybody free shirts with the name ASO on it. Have a graffiti artist go tag one of these walls up with ASO. Be a part of ASO. Come join ASO. One of those phrases. Another way will be to get it out word to mouth. Have private events like, hey, there's gonna be a party at my house. Everybody from West LA come over. We're gonna represent. ASO is gonna be supervised under probably the advisor though, but it's gonna get popping. So that's how I'll get ASO's name known.
Thank you for that, Michael. And now, if anybody else in the public or another student or has any question, this is a chance to address any candidate up here that you see up here.
Wait. Let him go, because he already went. You already won. You got a question?
How you doing? I was trying to find out more about joining the ASO or the. I'm not really sure. I think it's like it's called a. It's like, is it a musician? Oh yeah, the positions for ASO. How do you get more involved with the clubs, like the writing club?
Well, there's numerous ways. And excuse me, I didn't get your name, brother.
Sincere.
Sincere.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sincere. Well, Sincere, there's various ways of getting involved, but I would definitely say come to the ASL first. That's in A9. A9 is actually to the far north, right here on this campus. Now, specifically, you can reach out to the Creative Writing Club that's here on this campus, and we do have a list of individuals who you can contact regarding that as well. But also, what I would highly recommend for you to do is to actually come to our ICC meetings, which happens usually on the second and fourth Tuesdays of each month. So once you come to those meetings, you can definitely directly meet the president of that particular club or a representative of that club. But also keep in mind, expose yourself to other clubs as well. While the Creative Writing Club may or may not be here, which it actually is here on this campus during the semester, you want to keep in mind of how you can actually keep that club growing as well. So definitely with you being a part of that provides that another gateway for the students to actually say, okay, not only I have this available for me as a student, but also there's other clubs I could also be a part of and create other opportunities in for myself as well and for other students. So come to the A9 building, but also come to our ICC meetings, which happens every second and fourth Tuesday of each month at 1:30 p.m. Thank you very much, brother.
Ronnie.
Okay, so going back to my first question, I heard a few of you say that, we have to let students know who we are. So during the campaign, before you get here and you're able to talk to the students, you're able to talk to the public, you are supposed to go out and get 50 signatures, is that correct? Okay, in getting those signatures, I've talked to a few students because I actually was going to run for office. I decided to help in other ways and to further notice. But in talking to students, I was aware of the fact that when certain people in the past have gotten signatures from students, they just say, hey, I'm running for office, I need your signature. But you're not really explaining to them what you're running for and what that position entails. That will be another way of letting students know, hey, I am whoever you are, a brief introduction of who you are, what you stand for, why you're running for the position, and what the position entails. Because it's one thing to say, okay, hey, we're running, vote for the president, but what does the president do? Why is there a Chief Justice? What is the Chief Justice's responsibilities? So if the student knows that, then they can definitely make a decision as to if they want you to be in that position because you're sharing who you are with the students, and that will get them more involved. Is that something that is that something that the ASO board is willing to do when people are going out getting those signatures?
The reality is that you have to actually ask these students, do you see yourself being in any of these positions amongst the students that are a part of the school? So the students that are a part of the school, they can actually have their separate meetings to address either concerns or to at least vent whatever levels of frustration you have as far as to what's getting done or what's not getting done for that matter. So I think with those particular meetings, I think myself as a president would be able to attend those meetings, not only be able to attend those meetings, but be able to accept constructive criticism from those who are supporting you. Then upon accepting that level of responsibility, you have to put it in mind that it's not just one person that's going to have to be able to get the job done. It's going to take a collective unit. Outside of just the ASO, you need the ICC. Outside of the ICC, you need the members who are part of those particular clubs. Then outside of the members of those clubs, you need the students. So collectively, we are all students. So since we're all students, what are we doing to work towards a common goal or common goals altogether? If we're not looking to address those matters directly by at least having a meeting to discuss those matters, because just as well, when we addressed the food truck issue, we went to the Mill's office to address those issues. If he didn't take that amount of time to at least spend with us, to talk about those particular issues, then we wouldn't even have a food truck here on this campus. But outside of that, we have to be able to be open to communication. We have to be able to be open to communication, because with the students here on this campus, they feel as if their voices are not being heard. They do feel as if the teachers are not listening to them. But upon that, that's where it all ties in, communication. Now, another thing with that as well is that being a part of the ASO, this is the opportunity to not only bridge the gap amongst the students and the teachers, but also to bridge the gap within our own collective organizations here on this campus. Because with the amount of resources that are here on this campus, you still have students that are like, okay, I'm not able to go to Learn, or I'm not able to go to Trio, or I'm not able to go to Fuente. We have to bridge those gaps. Then upon bridging those gaps, we can build a level of a community that we probably haven't seen in years. So altogether, to answer that question, I could definitely say being a part of the process to make that student progress or the students progress is really something that we really need to look into. Thank you.
And thank you for that, Quincy. And now we'll give a chance to Sebastian to address the same question, and then we will also be keeping a tab on time, so we have enough time for our student trustees to speak as well.
Thank you. I feel the issue comes from the following. The typical ASU board includes 15 plus members. Everybody comes from different backgrounds, and everybody has their own issues and initiatives. So I feel a way that we can solve that issue is taking things one at a time. You know, everybody has their own ideas, and if we want to have all of them done, we cannot just be all over the place doing all 15 ideas at the same time. I feel we can also train the new upcoming senators that come in and have a mentoring system where the more experienced members of the board help the new members and help them achieve their initiatives. So overall, just taking things one at a time and be a more well-trained board where everybody knows what they're doing and how to get things done. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Sebastian. And now we will give Michael a chance to address the issue.
Coming from the land community, I could really tell you this issue is really, really big. You know, getting people involved. You know, it's like getting your fellow people involved. How to get them to be in action and actually get things done. I have a structure set. It's a three-part structure. First is recruitment. Recruitment is very important to get the right senator, to get the right person in that position, as my former candidate Quincy suggested. My second answer will be training. Training is very important to get them to do the right thing, to get the structure set. I guess my former candidate Sebastian was on point to get the former person who was there, the former experienced senator, to train the new recruited senator. And then my third would be action, to actually get things done, to get to see things that other senators haven't done, you know? To go to conferences, to be experienced, to have knowledge in that position, to be there, you know? But, yep.
Thank you for that, Michael. And now we'll give a chance to Larry to introduce.
Okay, so now we're going to get to the student trustees. We apologize for the wait. So you first. Student trustee is a very important job, and there's a lot to it. Please move up.
And thank you for our candidates.
Oh, you lost a wallet.